Are you telling me I'm looking good, or?
I'm just telling you, I'm asking you. I don't want you to go on public TV and not have been to the makeup trailer.
No, this is it.
This is it? That's all we get? Right here? Maybe we can dim the light just a titch over on that side of the...
If you don't like this version,
That's all you got.
I get that a lot. I go to the makeup trailer and it's locked. They're like, go away.
Well, I've gone once, they told me it's not gonna help.
Yeah. I was told, we don't have enough.
Yes.
Just leave. We're not buying it in 55-gallon drums anymore, so get the crap out of here.
I can't put it on with a fire hose.
Yeah.
You know, when you get a half a second,
We just need to sit down and talk. I started writing a response back.
Melissa, you tell me when you're ready.
put in that as because
I'm ready.
Do we have to have our special counsel?
No, he
At the
can,
dais?
He can sit in the audience for
He
this
can sit in
one.
the audience?
Yes.
Okay, we'll let him sit in the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. In an effort to be punctual, we're going to start the regular scheduled meeting of the Policy Committee for February 8th, 2018. Present in the room are Director Clark and Director Gould. Director Gale is not with us this evening. At this time, we'll call the meeting to order and offer the public an opportunity to discuss matters of public interest within the committee's scope, including items on or not on the agenda. Seeing not a long line of individuals interested in speaking at the Policy Committee, we'll move right to the consent agenda where I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, there's been a motion, and I'll second that motion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Director Clark
Aye.
and Director Gould.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the only action item of this evening, and that is the election of officers for the subcommittee of the board. And I believe Director Gale has a motion. Nope, Director Clark. Director Gale is not with us again. So go ahead, Director Clark.
The motion is to keep the, wait a minute, say that again. I'm sorry, I was,
You're Director Clark.
right, I know, but the motion was,
The motion was to, I believe we had discussed
Oh.
as a matter of,
Okay.
of
I got it.
functionality
I got it.
is that we would do 17.
Yeah, I recall now. Yeah. Yeah, what we would like to do, I make a motion that we keep the officers as Director Gould as chairman and myself as vice chairman.
Okay, do I have any other conversation about the motion? Seeing none, go ahead and call the roll. I second the motion.
Okay, great. Director Clark
Aye?
and Director Gould.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, so that action item is done. We'll move on now to presentation items. And Madam Maddox, HR Extraordinary Manager, we have a presentation item on catastrophic leave policy.
Good evening, directors, Chief Shannon. I'm Melissa Maddox, HR Manager of Metro Fire. I'm bringing you tonight a new policy, which is the catastrophic leave policy for represented employees. We currently have a very similar policy for unrepresented employees that the policy committee has reviewed and approved in the past. The basically same purpose of this policy, that it will provide paid leave to employees in need who may have an illness or injury to themselves or their immediate family member, who have unfortunately maybe exhausted all of their leave, or they may be a newer employee and they don't have a ton of accrued time on the books. So this fund will allow other employees in the district to donate vacation leave or sick leave to the fund, and then that fund can be dispersed accordingly to the people in need as long as they meet all the guidelines under the policy. The district and Local 522 have met and agreed on the terms of this policy. That's why we decided to have two separate policies, one for unrepresented and one for represented. So we have met and conferred, and they agreed with the policy, and we're ready to move forward with it. So again, it's an administrative policy, so it's just for informational purposes only, and it doesn't need to be moved to full board for approval. So if I can answer any questions you may have.
Yes. I would like to, if I may, I'd like to know how much is this policy utilized? How often is it utilized?
Since we put it in place for the unrepresented employees, we haven't had to use it yet, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
It means no one has been in need of it, so it's a good thing. But it's hard to say.
Okay, I also had another question. Is there any way that if the person runs out of grants, can somebody donate if it's a extended catastrophic issue? Can another employee donate to that policy?
Yeah, all employees will be sent an election notice at the beginning of every year. And you can donate as much as you want, but you have to donate at least the minimum. So for like day staff, it'd be 8 hours. For line staff, it's 12 hours. And as long as you donate the minimum for that year, then you're considered eligible to utilize the fund. Again, you can donate more if you want. If say for the represented policy, if there's a member in need, the union can go out and ask for additional donations to the fund. Employees can't donate directly to another employees. They have to donate to the fund, and then the fund gets dispersed out to whoever's in need of the fund.
Okay, thank you.
I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Can you describe for me the makeup of the Catastrophic Leave Bank Committee?
That is the deputy chief of admin, the HR manager, the CFO, and then 2 union employees, which we haven't identified yet.
Is there a different committee for represented and unrepresented?
That's for represented. For unrepresented, it's just the deputy chief of admin, the CFO, myself, and then one more of a line day personnel. And then the tiebreaker in that case would be the fire chief.
Okay, thank you. That's what I had a question there. And then the other part I think that's really interesting about these 2 policies is in the purpose statement, it says that it can be utilized in cases of incapacitated personal illness or injury of the participant. I'm assuming the participant that's an employee, right? That's what it means, participant.
Full-time employee that has contributed to the fund.
Only if they've contributed.
Yes.
So if a member of our organization has a catastrophic illness or injury and they have not contributed to the catastrophic leave bank, they are not eligible to pull out from that same bank.
Exactly.
So that's
At least for that year.
Yeah, but
Right.
we don't typically plan for
Right.
those
No, yeah.
catastrophic illnesses
But
a year in
maybe
advance.
it would, if it's some long-term thing,
Right.
unfortunately, maybe they could recontribute.
So I think the messaging needs to be is this is basically insurance by opting in.
Yes.
Has there been any ever a conversation about making this an opt-out phenomenon for our organization? Because here's, I guess, for me, the concern is it's an opt-in, but we never really plan for these things to happen in our lives. And it would be a much safer place to be where it's an opt-out, where you consciously have to decide you're not going to participate in what functionally is an insurance policy, so to speak. And we just say, we're going to take a minimum amount of every individual in our organization and opt them in, and allow them to opt out if they choose. But that way we're covering a larger group. And here's why. The second part of the first sentence says, or an immediate family member. Right. And I think that is such a wonderful statement. But then to further argue is why we almost need to have an opt-out phenomenon in our organization, because we can only imagine the devastation that would come from somebody who doesn't opt in and have an illness to a family member that's catastrophic, and this is a bucket that could help. And because of 8 hours that they didn't put in, they have no access. And I know you've negotiated this, so I'm not asking for the change, but I think down the road, it would be really kind of an interesting thing to say, let's just make this an opt-in process for the catastrophic leave bank at the minimum. If you want to go more, that's fine. But at the minimum, therefore, we're covering a wider body of individuals. And the pool is more robust, as it were, because so many people are involved. Because I can tell you, last year I didn't plan on a catastrophic illness. And I just think that it'd be a nice little piece of employee benefit that we could really put in play. So that, as I looked at this, I thought, this is fantastic and wonderful, and it's awesome that we have it even available. I just think that opt-in thing may be a smart play for everyone. So anyway, that's my thoughts. I'm assuming that your presentation that you're talking about, do you need to have another presentation for the underrepresented?
I don't. The changes we made to the next policy that we have for an action item, it was just some of the strike-throughs, because the unrepresented policy, it used to say that you could just donate sick leave. Now we made it to mirror the represented, so
Sure.
you can donate sick leave or vacation.
Right,
So
that's
it
kinda
was
what I
just a
saw.
cleanup.
Right. And so both groups are basically have the same policy.
Exactly.
Okay, very good.
Except the time, I mean, the amount that you could put in.
Right, right. It's based on your schedule.
Right, right.
Pretty much.
Sure.
The weather shift or, the regular shift.
Yeah.
Chief Shannon, you have any other comments relative to this before we finish this presentation item?
No,
Oh, excellent. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
Very good. Well, as far as I see on this particular agenda this evening, that really finishes those presentation items. Thank you very much.
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you.
And wow, I even got a motion to adjourn. That's awesome. Okay, I guess I'll second that motion, and it doesn't look like we have any additional meetings for the rest of the year. That's awesome.
All right,
Thank you very much, ma'am. Meeting's adjourned.
all right.